Hello and welcome to today's financial news, brought to you by Forex, a multi-regulated Forex broker. Here's what's happening on the markets today.
On Wednesday, Netflix stock dropped about 3%, continuing a broader decline of roughly 12% since the start of 2026, as investors worried that its planned $82 billion Warner Bros. Acquisition could strain finances despite strong revenue growth. In regular trading on Wednesday, the S&P 500 rose 0.2%, the Dow Jones lost 0.1%, and the Nasdaq Composite declined 0.2%, with 8 of the 11 S&P sectors closing higher, led by energy, consumer staples, and materials. Brent crude oil futures rose towards $70 per barrel on Thursday, extending gains from previous sessions and hovering near an almost 5-month high, as markets remained focused on US-Iran tensions. The New Zealand dollar traded at around 60 cents, its highest level in 2 weeks, as investors continued to assess the Reserve Bank's policy outlook. Ether traded at around $1,950 this Thursday, increasing by 1.4% in the last 24 hours. Looking back, over the last 4 weeks, Ether lost over 40%. Now let's review the major economic events of the day. At 10:30 a.m., the annual inflation rate in India is expected to increase, after reaching 1.3% in December. At 3 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the existing home sales of January, following 5.1% in December. Tomorrow's major economic events. At 1:30 p.m., the U.S. to release the annual inflation rate for January, following 2.7% in December. At 1:30 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the Consumer Price Index of January, following 324 in December.
And that's it for today's Market News Roundup, presented by Forex. Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow for more financial news.